Salim from Notorious S back again with another video. Baby! Self-reflection as I do so well. So it's about self-reflection as I do so well. So I'm going to get right to it. I work out a lot, regularly. So once every 2 days. So typically 4 to 5 days a week, I'll work out. Sometimes more, but never under 4. When I go to the gym, I don't, not on my phone really when in between sets and shit. So I'll walk back and forth between like the water fountain and where I work out. And you can't help but to look at the people around you, right? And if you go consistently, you'll kind of see the same faces every week or every time you go. And you can't help but to like kind of look at people's progression or to wonder, because bro, if you go to the gym, your goal is to lose weight, right? Or either lose weight, gain muscle, or maintain, the kind of physique you have, or even just, progressively get to it. And I say that because I was wondering in my mind, I think a lot, and I was wondering, like, man, I've been seeing this guy for like 6 months, and he hasn't changed his physique, like, at all. It hasn't changed. Sometimes it gets even worse. So I'm wondering, like, what is it about that? What is it about him that makes him not get better with his physique? And in my mind, I'm like, he's probably lying to himself. And I say that because, look, we live in a world now that we all lie to ourselves. It doesn't matter if it's us or we're being lied to as well, like the people around us, the companies, corporations and whatnot. Because people know one thing: if you lie to people, and I'm talking about mostly businesses and whatnot, if I lie to him or her or them or whatever, they're more likely to buy from me, because if I hurt their feelings, well, they're not going to be incentivized to do business with me. And we do that at a smaller scale when we lie to ourselves. Because how else could you explain the fact that my man is has been working out for 6 months and hasn't even changed his physique like one bit? Because he wanted one thing, right? That his expectations or his goals were really different from what he wanted to put in, what he was ready to put in. Because everybody can work out, right? But obviously there was something missing in the whole thing. And I say that because I want to get back to, kind of the struggles that we might have. Look, I used to be a fat boy, right? I used to be overweight and like a fat boy, right? Obviously it don't look like it because your boy done got fit and all. But I used to be a fat boy. And it doesn't matter what kind of struggle you have. You could, because I used to binge eat, right? It doesn't matter if maybe binge eating is not your problem. Maybe you fap too much or masturbate too much. You have an addiction to pornography, right? Or you have a spending habit. The reason why, I'm drawing a parallel between this guy's issue is we want a quick fix to a problem that's probably most likely going to be long term. Like, if you look at the fact that I used to binge eat, I like to eat a lot, I restructured my life around the fact that I want to avoid that from happening again. I want to avoid binge eating, and I want to avoid being a fat boy again. What most people are going to do is not do what I did. Obviously, it wasn't my first strike. I tried to do the quick fix. It just doesn't work, right? Like, doing the quick fix doesn't work. They're going to try to do a quick fix because it's better than to have a sit down and an honest talk with yourself about the way that you've been living your life and what you need to do to get to the next step. And 95% of people won't do that because it requires you to sit down and actually recognize and acknowledge that it's going to be a lifelong commitment. That's the truth, bro. Because we can't commit these days. Like, and I'm not saying like I'm better than you. I have the same issues, but I'm reflecting because we can. Look, bro. If you binge eat and you're a fat boy, you have a problem with eating and you're just overweight overall, it has to be a lifelong commitment to you eating better and working out, being healthy. It doesn't need to be to the gym, but you need to have a commitment in your mind that you're going to do what it takes, right? One, fat, same thing. If you fat, man, you have an addiction, you're probably going to have like some times where you might fall back into the old habit, which means you have to restructure your life and make a commitment that you're not going to do it. Sometimes it's not because you don't have a girl, you just like to do it, but you know that it's not good for you because it takes a lot of space in your mind, and it fucks up your balls and all these things. So you're not supposed to be doing that. Same thing for the spending habit. But once again, it requires a level of honesty that a lot of people don't have with themselves, right? So really, we got to sit down and think about it. That's the main thing. The other thing that I was thinking about is the fact that it's about our expectations. Meaning, like, when you're trying to do that thing, the new project, the goal that you have in your mind, you got to set the expectations on the same level as the type of work that you're ready to put in. Sometimes you have to raise your work ethic, but you can't expect to lose the weight and let you work out 3 to 4 to 5 times a week, but don't eat correctly. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have to set the bar, right for ourselves. If I tell you you're gonna run a 1 kilometer race or marathon, race, and it turns out to be a 10-kilometer one on the day of, you're like, damn, man, you're probably not gonna do it because you haven't trained accordingly. For one, and two, your expectation was much lower. Versus if I tell you, you know what, it's gonna be 10-kilometer race from the get-go, and it turns out to be the 10-kilometer the first day, right, the day of, well, then now you're ready. But the only difference is one, you're training, right, which is most important, but two, it's your expectations. And a lot of times the expectations are way more important than the latter. So you got to be honest with yourself. That's like the key word of the whole thing that I wanted, the whole rant I've been having is honesty and expectations, right? And lifelong commitment for a lot of the things we want to achieve. It could be the goal, but it can also be struggles you have. Like, be honest with yourself, man. Because I wasn't, and I lost time. And the only victim of this whole process is you. Because the longer you lie to yourself or you let people lie to you, well, the more time you're losing. Man, I'm out of here, man. If you like the content, subscribe, like, share, and I'm going to see you next time. Holla back.